Hi Stage 3, welcome to THRASS Lesson 4, Term 4, words relating to our science unit about adaptations. Let's get started and have a look at our 6 words for this lesson. We've got inquiry, oxygen, photosynthesis, biodiversity, ecosystem, and genetically. These are fantastic words this week. They probably share a few things in common, but what we are going to look at today is the fact that these 6 words all contain the letter Y in some way. Inquiry, oxygen, photosynthesis, biodiversity, ecosystem, and genetically. Let's have a look at the THRASS chart and see where this grapheme lies. Now we can actually see that the letter Y, and I might just point out, beyond being a consonant in its own right, for example, y for yo-yo and yawn and things like that, we can actually see that down in the vowel section, the letter Y pops up 3 times. It pops up once here in the E box, pops up here in the I box, and it pops up here in the I box. So we can actually see that the letter Y can make a vowel sound in 3 different ways. E, I, and I. Now let's take a look back at our list here. Can you see the way that the Y is acting as a vowel in each of these words? Inquiry. That's Y making an E sound. Inquiry. That's the same as biodiversity. And genetically. We can see this E sound popping up, and as you've guessed it, the Y appears at the end of each of these words, creating an E sound. But if we have a look at our other words, oxygen, photosynthesis, and ecosystem, oxygen, photosynthesis, ecosystem, you can see the I sound. When the Y appears in the middle of a word, it makes an I sound, and you can see it's got consonants on either side. Okay? Consonants on either side here making this I sound. Now in our list we can see we have E represented and we have I represented. We don't have I represented. We have E, we have I, but we don't have I. I wonder if you can pause the video. Here is your challenge, your mid-lesson challenge. Pause the video and see how many words you can come up with that contain the Y grapheme acting as an I sound in a word. Pause the video and have a go. See what you can come up with. Okay, how did you go? Let's see. I've come up with a few words. I've come up with bystander, cycle, hydrogen, rhyme, and reply. Now it's interesting to note that most of the examples I came up with, the Y acting as an I sound was pretty much the second sound that you can hear. But I, bystander, I, cycle, I, hydrogen, I, rhyme. And then occasionally it can go at the end of a word. It's most common that it will be an E sound at the end of a word if we see a Y, but sometimes it can make an I sound as well. So you can see differently to our examples here, where most of them were either at the end or right in the middle of the word. Lots of these examples actually have the I, Y saying I, as the second sound that you hear in the word. I wonder how this compares with your list. You can show your teacher your list at the end. So very interesting. The letter Y, or the grapheme, I should say, the grapheme choice Y, very clever. A bit of a chameleon and can make lots of different vowel sounds. So be on the lookout, particularly when you're reading scientific words, to note what role is the letter Y playing. Is it saying E? Is it saying I? Is it saying it? What's it saying? And that can help you to unpack it. Think about, is it at the end of the word? Is it in the middle of the word? Is it towards the start? Is it the second sound you hear? And that can help you to work out what the word might be saying or the sound might be saying. It can help you when you're spelling as well. If you're thinking about how to spell a word, think about where that Y grapheme appears, and that can give you a bit of a hand. All right. Drawing up your chart, your 5-column chart in your book, getting ready to write the word, thrash it out, count or show and count your syllables, define each of your words in a way that makes sense to you, and finding synonyms that make sense and are words that you know and recognize as well. And your extension task is always writing your words in IPA. So pause the video, get your chart going, and come back a little later to mark your work. All right, hopefully your chart is all done and complete, and you can grab your marking pencil and use this to help you with your marking. See how you went and see your teacher if you've got any questions. And you might need to, as always, just check some of these against a thesaurus if you had something slightly different to me. All right, we'll see you next time for lesson 5.